What's up, everyone? I am Quella Graphic Love. I hope that everyone has been doing pretty good. I'm so glad that you tuned into this video today because it's something that I've been wanting to talk about, kind of like an addition to my series of the Moving in Silence series. If you have not watched my other Moving in Silence video, just Moving in Silence period, I'll link it or iCard it somewhere up here. But I just want to preface with that because today's topic is branching off of the whole Moving in Silence thing. My other Moving in Silence video, I had someone comment, and I'll plug it here, that it would be a good suggestion to do Moving in Silence Relationship Edition. And I was like, you know, that could be very helpful for people. And also I think it's some pretty good tips out there, you know, especially if you're one of those people that when it comes to your relationship is kind of sacred, or you just kind of have a way of navigating it when it comes to the real world versus the social media world. Also for this video, I did want to look like I was in luxury. So my gold bangles, I have my diamond earrings, studs. These are actually my favorite earrings. I can't wear them everywhere because they're a little too glam. And then I just have on this faux berry dress. So like faux berry, Burberry. I just wanted to look like very luxe and feminine in this, just particularly for this video. I don't dress like this 90% of the time. Y'all know, you see my other videos, it's kind of just very simple. But for this video, I felt it was a pretty good occasion to look a little dolled up and deliver some nice Moving in Silence tips when it comes to your relationship. So first and foremost, I do want to put out a disclaimer that these are just my tips, and these are also just some observations of things that would be helpful that I think would be helpful. This does not mean that you have to be in a relationship and maneuver your relationship like that. If you are in a relationship and you like to be out loud and let everybody know, good for you. If you like to have a private relationship, good for you. This is in no way shaming anyone who doesn't actually follow these steps or doesn't really take to these tips. So I just wanted to put that as a disclaimer. There's no one way to do a relationship. There's no one way to do life. Do what fits you and pretty much just do you. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, I do want to just insert myself into this conversation. So for me specifically, when it comes to relationships or guys that I may be entertaining or talking to or dating or what have you, I've never posted any man on my social media ever. I'm dead serious because I'm just a private person in general. So a lot of things I kind of just keep to myself, or I just keep to my core circle. But majority of the times I just keep everything to myself. And when it comes to like, you know, getting to know somebody, we're kind of getting in that relationship stage. I've just never really felt like people needed to, it was just a part of my life that I didn't really want to show people. And it's not that I was embarrassed of my partner. It was just, I just didn't really get the point of me blasting them all over social media. Who am I, what am I trying to prove type of thing? And I've never been that type of person that like, I feel like I have to prove, oh, this is really happening in my life and this is what's going on. Like, if you watch a few of my other videos, I've touched on this too. Like, I've never been that type of person. So it would feel unnatural for me to be like, here's my boyfriend, here's the guy that I'm talking to, here's the guys that I'm dating, I went on a date tonight. Like, all the dates that I've been on, I've never posted them on social media. I've never even like alluded or talked about it because why? Like, what's the purpose? So that's how I want to insert myself in this conversation. But just from observing others and also getting some tips gathered online and also hearing about this discussion, as well as my own perceptions when it comes to relationships, I wanted to share these tips. And like I said, they may not apply to you. You don't have to do it this way. This is not the gospel. And I know throughout this, like, there's so many different ways and so many insightful ways to navigate your relationship that I might forget some. So if you guys have any noteworthy ones that would help people regarding this topic, please let me know down in the comments. I will definitely respond to those. And I might even do a part 2 if there needs to be further speaks on this and Also depending upon the reception of this topic. Also, I do want to say that these are in no particular order. They're kind of just as they came to my brain, and as I discovered them, I kind of just jot them down. So no particular order, go however you want. So let's get into it. So the first tip for Moving in Silence Relationship Edition is people may try to get with your partner or interfere with your relationship. So revealing your partner on social media, maybe even the same could be said for revealing a connection that you have. There are people who will see your partner and they might be like, oh, they make a cute couple. They are looking at it like, oh, they make a cute couple, but he's dating her, she's not dating him. Pretty much trying to say like, oh, he's the good looking one and she is not, so he's doing her an advantage by dating her. And so it's some crazy, I don't even know what to call it. But there are people who will find you on social media, and especially if you use hashtags and stuff on Instagram and Facebook, who will, the whole couple goals type of thing. And if you're posting you and your partner, there might be people who think, oh, your partner is attractive, whether male or female. This can go for, all of these tips can go for either or. So male, female, whatever type of relationship that you're in, there could be people like, oh, you know, he's very handsome. Or, oh my, he's very attractive. Or, oh, wow, she's got like an amazing body. Or she's just drop dead gorgeous. And they could interfere with your relationship in that they might try to shoot their shot into your partner's DMs or shoot them an email or do a little too much in the comments, or, you know it when you see it. So, but this doesn't mean that you don't trust your partner. It's just like, you never know who's looking at your pictures. Social media nowadays doesn't really show who's tracking, like who actually comes to your page and how long they've lingered on that one picture and if they scrolled. So it's different. It doesn't even show you who visits your page. I think they used to do that in MySpace. They would show like who visited your page or stuff like that. And there are people who they're very bold. Like that doesn't matter to them if the person is in a relationship. There are people who are attracted to people in relationships and will go after them as if it's some type of conquest, or like, oh, you know, he looks good, but he looked better with me. Or she looks good, but she looked better with me. Like, oh, he's a clown and he can't handle a girl like her, or she can't handle him. All the, you know, you never know. People on the internet can be quite conniving, to say the least. My next tip is everyone is not gonna be happy about you finding love. You know, there are some people who they're not the biggest fans of love. Like seeing people happy in love, they don't like seeing people with a partner. They may be getting out of a breakup, or they may also just not be the biggest fan of love, which is completely understandable. You know, for me, I don't like mushy, gushy, over the top love. Like, it can be very suffocating. But it's like, if you have love for your partner, you know, understandable. But there are some people who may feel like, oh, well, you know, you're parading around your partner like, oh, you're just so happy because you found love. And they probably are not thinking the best and positive things on your union, on your relationship, or your marriage, whatever it may be. So it's also best to keep that in mind. Like, jealousy and envy can definitely come out in the weirdest places, especially when it comes to people and they find their love and they find their partner. Also, especially with social media, this is mainly all based around social media, just to clarify. But there are a lot of people who will lurk and not like. So they'll see your picture, they'll see you posting about them, they'll see you going on trips with them, and you know, they might follow your page or even somebody you know personally, and they won't like the picture because, oh, you're happy, or oh, you're enjoying something that they yet haven't found. Or although I have no issue with singleness at all, nothing wrong, like it doesn't mean anything is bad, but there are some people who they feel like, oh my God, I'm single, my life is miserable, I don't want to see anyone else in a relationship because I'm sitting here single and it's unfair. And it's like, sis, bro, calm down. Like, relationships are not the end all be all. There's more to life, and just keep that in mind. Balance relationship edition tip is, people won't be in your business. People won't know about your relationship unless you post about it. If they know you in real life, that's a different story, especially if you don't see them, especially if you see them on a consistent basis or you have a close relationship with them. But nobody would know that you're in a relationship, who you're talking to, who you're messing around with, who you're dating, who you're going on dates with, unless you reveal that information. So that's one thing about social media is like, people pick up off of what you post. So if I don't post me laying in a bed with a guy and his arm wrapped around my neck, or we going on a date and I happen to get his shoe in the shot, like, people can only run so far with that. And I mean, those type of things don't bother me, but I'll get to that later in the video. But it's just, people won't know anything unless you post it. So you could save yourself a lot of time by just not posting about it at all. We live in an era where you have to, in order for people to know that you're actually doing something, it has to be posted. I don't post that I'm mowing the lawn. I didn't mow the lawn. Or if I don't post that, you know, I got a new car, I didn't get a new car. People think I'm still driving around in the same car. And it's like, it gets to a point where like, what are you trying to prove to the audience? But that's also one thing that I take in as well. Like, people don't know anything, they don't post. So they don't question like, who's that guy, or what was that? Or it kind of gets weird. There are people who do like question, like my family members, my extended family, they will ask like, oh, well, I don't see you post any guy on social media, or, you know, I don't see you going on dates or anything. And it's like, I've dated several men, and I've been on a good amount of dates. I've entertained people, I've talked to people, I've gotten to know guys. Like, because you don't see it on my social media, that means it didn't happen. And it's kind of rude to ask a person like, oh, well, I don't see you posting any guys on your social media. It's like, well, because I don't want to reveal that to you. If I sent you a text and it's like, oh, hey, here he is. Like, why do I need to show you that? It's weird. I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that as well, with family members that pry into your love life as if you have nothing else going but a relationship. Just disregard that you're educated, that you started a business, disregard that promotion at your job, disregard that you're a great mom, disregard that. So on to my next one. Sometimes displaying your relationship can bring a lot of unwanted attention to you, your partner, and your relationship. So be forewarned that that is something that you will have to face when you do post about your relationship or kind of give off details and stuff in regards to your partner. There are people online who do like, hey, people think we look good together, or people are loving our relationship and they're kind of putting us as goals. And there are those who get validation and approval from likes and comments about their relationship or about their partner. And so that kind of helps them to boost them, like, oh, let me post more about us, or let me post more pictures, or let the world know a lot more. The only issue with that too, the other thing is people can start to idolize your relationship as perfect or none other than #couple goals. Every single couple that it's posted online, but not everyone is couple goals, because you're only seeing parts of the relationship. You're not seeing like when they fight, when they're down on bad times, when things happen within the family. You're not really showcase that. Like, people aren't showcase that. So understand like why people will be like, oh my God, you guys are just so perfect, because you're posting all the positive moments, the good moments when we travel, the good moments when we're sitting together laughing, the good moments when I cook for you, the good moments where, you know, you're doing something nice for me, or you buy me something nice. Those are the moments. So people look at that and they idolize. And there are a lot of couples, even on YouTube, who they started off as just posting about themselves, and everybody from every single angle came in and were like, oh, you guys should do a couples channel. Like, it's so many different eyes and ears on your relationship and in your relationship, to where it can be a negative as well, because you kind of feel like you have to adjust your relationship to how people perceive your relationship. So it's like you can only show happy moments, you can only show good times, but you might be miserable with that couple's channel, or you might not be the happiest with your partner, or you guys may not be as close as you once were, or you might have grown apart from each other. I think the biggest thing is when you keep your relationship private, in the event that the relationship dissolves, you guys break up, you go on a break, you go your separate ways, it's that weird part where you have to go and delete all those pictures, remove all the comments, block the person from your page, and then you'll have other people commenting like, oh, what happened to the pictures of you and so-and-so? What's going on? What's going on? Where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? I see it all the time on other people's platforms, and I'm like, that would really, really annoy me. So you save yourself the embarrassment so you don't have to also go back and remove all those photos, all those pictures, like all those memories. And people notice. People notice when you remove all that. They will notice when you stop posting about your partner. And then you're like, okay, I have to come out and say something because I did open up my relationship to the world. I did reveal this part of my life to the world. So it's like, although I don't owe you an explanation. It's like, it's only fair that I'm sharing this with you. And I know a lot of social media people will feel a way about having to explain certain things in their relationship. Like they kind of feel like the people are being nosy. And there are levels to it. There are people who are nosy, people who are prying information. There are definitely like a lot of intruders. And this also can go back to my other point, which is if they were lurking, they probably want to hear the news that, oh, you guys broke up, so they can go and shoot their shot. It's like that weird thing, like, okay, I have to say something, or you're going to continuously and constantly get the question of, where's so-and-so? Are you guys still together? What happened to the channel? It's just, it has to be awkward. It has to be very, very awkward. Another thing I wanted to mention is if you are dating someone, there's a difference between private and secretive. So there are like private, secretive, and hidden. There are people who, hey, you know, I just don't really feel like I should reveal my partner. There are people who are hiding them or secretive because they might be living a totally different lifestyle or whatever the case may be. And there are some people who like are hiding their partner because they're embarrassed by their partner, or their partner is maybe not ideal, or there's something about their partner they just don't really want to disclose. So like I said, I'm a private person. Secretive is like, sometimes secretive is like, oh, I don't want anybody to know. I don't want my family to know. I don't want my friends to know. No, like nobody can know. Not even the best friends. And it's just like, well, I mean, if something happens to you, I would, as a best friend or as a close friend, I would like to know, like, were you with this individual? Like, I wouldn't be able to give names or nothing. So for my the people closest to me, my sister, that's probably the closest person to me. I have friends, like I have my core friend group, but I don't even talk to them about my relationship. I've never talked to anybody about my relationship, and I've never revealed like who I'm talking to or my partner. Like it's getting serious, that's when I will talk more and, hey, you know, we're getting really serious. It's going on years so-and-so. We're getting engaged. We're about to be married. That's when that's when you can say what you want to say. The other thing about letting your friends know is it can open room for unnecessary opinions, critiques, and comments. So I never ask about people's relationships, but if they come to me, which they've come to me, and they've said things to me about their partner, I don't like when he does this, I don't like when he does that, I don't like when she, you know, does this. It's to me, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're coming to me, so you are wanting to hear my opinion on this. It may not be the favorite opinion. It may not be the favorite one, but I feel like if you're coming to me, you want some insight or want to hear my perspective on things. So I'm a very truthful, straightforward, blunt person, but I do have regard and care for people's feelings, how I deliver what I say. But it's like, don't come to me if you don't like what I'm going to say, or if we're going to go back to your partner. So With friends, it's definitely a preferential thing. If you want to tell your friends, I guess you can, but just know, like, friends and family, parents and stuff too, like, they might have their reservations on it. And obviously they do have a different perspective of the person because they don't know them like you know them. But yeah, like, even when I'm married, who I'm dating, if we have a rough patch, if we're going through things, I only literally go to one person. Like, that's my sister, and I don't even go to her for a lot of stuff because I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Like, we'll be out of this. I'm not even gonna make a fuss about it. For me, I just don't say anything, so you won't have any room to say anything about mine. So also, a really big one, make sure that keeping your relationship private is a mutual decision between you and your partner. This one kind of taps into, I guess it can kind of tap into love languages. So how you perceive and how you receive love. Although you might be a very private person, your partner might be very open about that part of their life. So they want to constantly post you. They want to constantly let the world know their love for you and their adoration for you and their admiration for you. And, you know, every 2 seconds they want to talk about you in a post, or versus you might not have any photos of them on your page, or if you have one photo or something like that. So just make sure, like, however your partner receives love, because someone like that who's like overly posting, I gotta let the world know I'm in love with my girl, or I gotta let the world know that I'm in love with my guy, they might take what you're not posting, perceive that as, oh, they don't like me like that, or they're not as much head over heels with me as I am with them. So they might start to feel away, might start to feel a little down, might start to feel a bit hurt by it. But that's something that you guys need to talk and communicate with as a couple. How do you feel if I do X, Y, and Z when it comes to my social media? Because some people just aren't big on social media. Like, a lot of guys that I've talked to and dated, they weren't like heavy social media people. And I completely understood that because I too am not a heavy social media person. I just don't understand certain dynamics when it comes to things. So, like, one thing I always said, like, if I ever post a guy on my page, which I have not yet, if I ever post him, it'll be that one post. So that one picture of us, as long as it's still up there on my profile, that means we're still together. If it has been removed, we're not an item anymore. We're not together. So yeah, that's definitely a discussion that needs to be had between you and your partner, how they navigate through social media, or even like how they are with you when it comes to meeting friends and stuff like that. So as I mentioned with the one picture, sometimes less is more. You can have that one post on there. You can navigate your social media however you want. But there are those people that I have to post that we're going to the corner store. Like, I got to put it on my Instagram story. I got to put it on my Instagram story, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Everybody know we're going out to eat tonight. I have to post that I cooked him breakfast. I have to post that, oh, he bought me this bag. I have to post that, oh, you washed my car today. I got to post that we're laying in bed together watching Netflix. I have to post that we are having date night. Like, they literally post every single second, and it's like, sometimes less is more, because at that point it's like, are you just performing a relationship, or are you really active in your relationship? Like, you need to also be making sure, like, your partner is even cool with that. Like, maybe they don't want to be posted all the time like that, or I don't know. People all have their adherences and their different approaches, like I mentioned, when it comes to social media. So you want to be respectful of that, especially if they don't really post themselves, or they're not as active. And some people can, in my view, they can overdo it when it comes to, like, letting the world know every single thing that we're doing. Like, I thought it was your Instagram page. I was following you because of you, not y'all. Like, I didn't know it was couples page. I was following you. Happy for you, but. So I want to wrap this video up with a quote that I found. I cannot remember the website, but if I can, I will post it. And the quote says, You can always add more, but it's impossible to undo once you've shared private details and put your relationship out there. Kind of alluded to this earlier, where some people feel like their relationship is everybody's relationship. So they would put very, very private details, even on YouTube. Private details regarding their relationship and their partner, and people will have this perception of their partner. It's because they put that out there. And it's not like people, because there are those who sit there and fabricate an entire story, make up a whole storyline, and it just doesn't make any sense. And it's literally like, where did you get this information from? But also, it's good to keep in mind that whatever you put out there, and not even just relationship, people can take that and flip it, dice it, dissect it, make it fit their narrative, however possible. When it comes to very intimate details, I guess it would depend on your transparency level. Just be careful that people can use that against you. So if you're just a person that's naturally very vulnerable, very open, just like if you're talking to anybody, you can't be that way to everybody. Like, not everybody needs to know your family history. Like, not everybody needs to know your tragic upbringing. Only certain ones that you may feel comfortable disclosing this information with, and also who you trust. So there can be times where it may have been a little too trusting, and to the social media world, you probably thought they were your friends, and they're just viewers, they're just subscribers, they're just likers, they're just commenters who can know so much about you without even knowing you. If you put out, you guys went through a very tough time, like a miscarriage or some infidelity or some abuse or something along those lines, very private. So people can build a narrative off of it. And that's why I'm saying you just have to be careful. Just careful on the internet, period, but very careful. Very, very careful. Currently in the process of editing this video, but one tip that I wanted to put in here was that when it comes to navigating your relationship, especially on social media, you have to have a sense of security within your partner as well as your relationship. If you are someone who is not as secure in your relationship or has an insecure attachment styles, these social media types of issues might get you a little bit deeper and they might be harder to navigate. So your security should be a top factor as well. On to the rest of the video. But yes, relationships, when it comes to your being open about it or posting about it, it's definitely a preference. You can keep your relationship private. You can let the world know. You don't have to follow these tips. Just do what works best for you. And I hope that that's one of the biggest takeaways when it comes to this video. Like I mentioned, I kind of just listed some things that were off the top of my head that I do, as well as I read a few articles online, but I know I definitely missed some major ones. So if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, as well as let me know any that I may have missed, because I can definitely do a part 2. And I'd be interested in doing a part 2 maybe from like a different perspective. I will leave you all in your luxury today, and I thank you so much for viewing my video. I also want to say, okay, the day I post this, so 2 days ago, October 27th, was when I hit 100 subscribers. A wonderful feeling. I'm so happy about that. I just want to plug that in this video in case I forget. But yeah, and I am so thankful for all of you that have viewed my videos and really given me really good feedback and reception on what it is you'd like to see. I'm just really starting to see the consistency and just the execution and everything play out. And I'm very grateful for all 100 of you, but at the time of this video, I think it's like 101. So all 101 of you, if you're active, communicating, if you are silently watching, I love all you as well. That's all I got for you today. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.